This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by Jet Home Loans. And now, a guy who could eat some wings. Ravens have wings. J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on this Monday, December 11th, the first hour of Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans. We are live on location at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. Fantastic setup for us today. And a busy 2 hours ahead after a Jaguars loss to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. 31-27 the final. The Jaguars are still in the lead in the AFC South. All the other teams chasing them lost yesterday, so they didn't lose any ground. Up next, the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football, the first Jaguars Sunday night appearance since 2008. Oh yeah, and a really good football team coming in. Keeping it real as we always do in the second hour, Fanatics, fan questions, and plenty of time for you to get down to Ponte Vedra Beach to join us in person. We're on 1010XL, AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. Hall of Famer Tony Boselli with us as always. Jags analyst Jeff Lageman stepping in. It's a home game for both of you guys. And good afternoon, Tony. How are you?
Doing good. No Petey today. He's traveling.
Well, we might have him on the phone in the second hour.
Word is he was afraid to come in because, he doesn't like dissecting losses very much.
I think he likes that more than wins. I think.
Oh,
actually,
I was being he does.
I was being sarcastic, JP. He is very sad that he can't be here with us today because he enjoys pointing out all the problems.
Well, Logs, there were a lot of problems. That's the issue. I'll say this: the last 2 weeks they've lost by a combined 7 points. Mm-hmm. However, they've lost, and it just feels a little uneasy.
The sky is falling.
Is it?
I can tell you there's a lot of things not to be happy about, but I think the majority of them are fixable, but challenging to fix, I think, is a good way to put it. That's am I being kind?
No, I mean, the way I would say it is...
Because I don't want to come off as being a guy that's just wearing the teal-colored glasses here.
That's Tony. That's Tony's role.
That's my role.
That's what he does.
This little shindig we call happy hour. The reality is this: you're not going to do anything, even if you make the playoffs, if you don't play better. And I think some of it is absolutely fixable, and some of it has reared its ugly head because of injuries and head-scratching things. And we'll go through the missed assignments, the turnovers, everything else. I mean, so this team has to start from ground zero of let's start the game by not beating ourselves. We're not good enough, and really no team in the NFL is good enough where you beat yourself. And this team, the last 2 weeks, has beat itself with turnovers, with missed assignments, and just poor play. So I think that's what Jeff's talking about. Is that fixable? Absolutely. Those are all fixable things.
I mean, if they fix like half of them, they win.
Sure, you think. I mean, who knows? But go in with the mindset, no good team in the history of this league consistently wins when you beat yourself, when you have stupid penalties, stupid mistakes. Missed assignments are killing this team. Killing this team.
We're going to go there.
Leading to some of the turnovers, frankly. But then you go back, I also think we're a good team. I mean, I said that 2 weeks ago after we beat Houston going into these two games. I feel like we're a good team. I feel like we can compete with anyone in the AFC. That I have not changed my thoughts there at all. Now it's a bigger challenge because of the injuries we've had. However, I also think sometimes when you win, and the teams we were playing and guys were making plays and the ball was bouncing our ways at times, but they were playing good football, it also causes you to overlook some systemic issues. And I think this team has some systemic issues that's going to be a challenge for them to win in January. And that is controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and trending in the wrong direction in some key areas.
Well, defensively, they're going the wrong direction. I think they've kind of been what they are all year up front on offense.
Yeah, that's fair. But here's the issue. Your backs are now hurt, and then
right.
with the issues up front still being there, it makes it look even worse. And now also your quarterback's hurt. You lost a wide receiver and your best wide receiver. So now you've got to lean into other areas. And the problem is right now this team is having a hard time leaning on those other areas. And defensively, they're not playing the way that they did earlier in the year, to where they were jam up against the run and then finding a way to get it done against the pass, and one of the best teams in the league at one point on third down defense. And right now they're not stopping the run. And the last time I checked, Joe Flacco and Jake Browning were not exactly upper echelon quarterbacks.
They're backups. I mean, it's the fourth quarterback of the year for the Browns. And Flacco was on the couch 3 weeks ago watching football at his mom's house.
Yeah, so
literally.
That part of it for me is very concerning.
Well, and I think, this is game 7, I believe, that we have averaged under 4 yards a carry on the ground offensively. And here's what happens when that becomes a trend.
It was their lowest total output of the season, by the way, 58 yards rushing.
And if you take away Trevor Lawrence's 3 rushes for 11 yards, the backs average 2.75, 2.76 yards per carry. And what you're seeing, which is super concerning, is I think there's a complete lack of faith to run the ball between the tackles from our play callers. Press Taylor, and then obviously Doug's part of that as well. You look at everything we do, it has to be, some kind of pin and pull play, get outside, misdirection with the wham, but nothing. We don't line up and run downhill. And what that is now doing is influencing how we call the game. We had 50 pass attempts, only 17 called running plays. We had 53 called passing plays because Trevor scrambled 3 times.
With a quarterback with a high ankle sprain.
And how many times was he sacked? 4 times. So actually, I'm sorry, we called 57 pass plays.
That's not ideal.
We called 17 run plays. It was third and less than a yard, and we're an empty at a shotgun.
Throwing it down the field.
Now, everyone can say, press Taylor this, press Taylor that. And I said it this morning, and I'll say it again now. As an offensive lineman, you have to earn the right and build confidence in your play caller that they can call the ball, call the run, and you can go get a yard. And somebody tell me, and JP, you know this, there's not a bigger apologist for this offensive line than me. And I always will back those guys, but reality is reality, Jeff. When you can't get a yard in the NFL, and I watch how press is calling plays now. Tell me how many things we call between the tackles downhill. Line up and run inside, outside zone, or run power and just go downhill. And
not even trying it.
We don't even try it. Third and
because
less than 1.
When they have tried it,
it goes backwards.
It hasn't gone well.
Yards.
And give you a perfect example of there was one run play that really stuck out in my mind yesterday, and Tony will probably remember this one very well, and that Shatley at left guard is trying to pull to the right side.
First play of the second. No, I think it's the first play of the second half.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're trying to get Shatley front side, get an extra blocker over there to the front side, and all of a sudden you got a defensive tackle, which, look, Jim Schwartz's defenses, they're taught to get up the field. That's what they do. And you know that. Okay, you know that. There's penetration and to the point where he literally, the penetrator, knocks Fortner into Shatley, and then that's the -5 or -6 yard gain that ETN had. And it's like, how can you run the ball if you're going to have that kind of battle result at the line of scrimmage? I mean, you got to be better than that. And if you're not going to be better than that, then you go the route of what I think Press Taylor is doing right now, which is just saying, not even going to try to run it, we're just going to go ahead and throw it.
Let's spread it out and throw it down the field.
But that's problematic.
Oh, yeah.
That is when I say systemic problems, I think we overlook, because when you're winning, I'm not saying the coaches do. I think but it's us covering the game, and Jeff and I probably less because we watch the tape and talk about it after each game, but just like as a fan or a casual observer, or even covering the team, when you're winning, I say it all the time, winning's like the great gravy at Thanksgiving. It can take a dry piece of turkey and make it really dang good if you throw a little stuffing and mashed potatoes around it. And winning is that gravy. It makes everything better.
Well, but in the gravy, you can't figure out what's underneath of it.
That's exactly right. But now you look at, you're in December. It gets cold. It gets harder. You're fighting for playoff. I mean, we were playing a team yesterday that's in the playoff race. They're fighting for their lives too.
Yeah.
And now you're going to get in. I believe this team will still win the division. I still think they're the best team in the division. So you're going to get a home playoff game. But if you can't run the ball in the playoffs
or stop the run,
it is really hard to advance.
We'll get back to the offense in just a little bit and Trevor Lawrence's performance. But let's touch on that defense again. And it doesn't slow down this week with the Ravens coming to town and the best rushing offense in the National Football League, led by the quarterback, a dual threat in Lamar Jackson.
Well, first of all, the Jaguars haven't done a very good job lately against the run. And then you add in the communication issues. I mean, you had 3 explosive plays in that ball game yesterday that I mean, were when you watch the play, you went, who's supposed to cover that guy? And that's a problem. And from the Njoku first 3rd and 1, which, oh, by the way, 3rd and 1, Cleveland Browns lined up to run the ball, okay, and you're taking it seriously, and then you hit a big play, right? That's kind of what you want your offense to be able to do, okay? But you can't do that because nobody's going to line up and literally stack the box and then play you like the Cleveland Browns or the Jaguars played the Cleveland Browns. And we'll get into all who was responsible, but I mean those 3 big plays. 2 plays to Njoku, and then what was the other one to the wide receiver?
18, the rookie
18.
Tillman.
Yeah, Tennessee guy. Right?
Tillman.
No, I don't think it was Tillman. Tillman was 19. I think it was a different guy.
Oh, I thought 18 was.
But a rarely used like 3rd team wide receiver.
Yeah, Bell hit a 41-yarder.
That's Bell.
Bell, sorry, not.
Yep.
And so, like, wait a minute, and it is pretty easy to solve some of these problems. I mean, it's just do your job, and that's kind of been an issue that's popped up a little bit, and then they solved it, and then now it's rearing its head again.
Logs, it's week 15. Like,
no, JP,
why are these still issues?
I understand that, and just like last week against the Cincinnati Bengals with Jamar Chase. Okay, first of all, you didn't have the right personnel on the field, and then you were trying to figure out what do we do with the wrong personnel. And
call timeout.
Probably would have been a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so Cisco's trying to get somebody lined up on a wide receiver on the far side of the field, which, you'd like to have Cisco as a deep middle player to maybe save a touchdown there to Jamar Chase once Jamar Chase got past Tyson Campbell, but it didn't happen. And so those are the things that, as a defense, because here's the thing. The Jaguars' offense has a set of objectives, okay? And it's called their offensive command. Number 1 is protect the ball. Number 2 is create explosives. Number 3 is be great situational offense. So as a defense, you're trying to prevent all of that. Okay, well, take the ball away. Okay, you did that. Check. Number 2, stop explosives. Didn't do that.
Nope.
Okay, number 3, be a great situational D. Didn't accomplish that. So this defense and this offense, they've got to change the direction that they're going, because last year at this time they were ascending, and right now I think they're floundering a little bit.
Plenty ahead. We'll come back in a moment and get back to the offensive performance. And Tony, you're going to start naming names.
I am.
You are.
Okay, can't wait for that.
We're naming names.
J.P. Shadrick was awful in pregame.
It's Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman, J.P. Shadrick with you from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra. We're here until 6 o'clock. Come join us. And Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zip Chair furniture for fans. This is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're with you. We asked our team what that means to them.
We're with you means we have a partnership.
It's a relationship. We're here for the long haul.
We have a solution for each and every person that chooses to bank with Ameris.
When you're starting your first checking account, starting your own business, buying a home.
Personally, commercially, corporately, whatever needs you have, we take great care of our customers.
We're with you.
We're with you.
We're with you.
Learn what it means for you at amerisbank.com/withyou. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Too many miscommunications. We've been playing together for a while now, and that's on us. And we got to take some accountability, for cleaning that up. And that's just stuff that can't happen, for both of us. We got to be on the same page. And it seemed like all those plays that we weren't. Some weeks you're able to get away with it and it doesn't bite you. It seemed like this week they all did. Turned into turnovers or sacks or bad plays or whatever. So we all got to kind of take accountability and look in the mirror, and there's stuff that I didn't do well today, and then just in general we all have to communicate better. We have to be on the same page. We have to play together, and just do the little things. I think we're overlooking some of the details, and I think that's where some of the stuff's going on.
That is the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, after the game yesterday in Cleveland. A Jaguars lost 31-27, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, and Jaguars YouTube. J.P. Shadrick, Hall of Famer Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman, and then in the second hour, Pete Prisco scheduled to join us over the phone. We'll keep it real as we always do. And Fanatics fan questions. Come join us at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. We are here until 6 o'clock rehashing, because we must, a Jaguars loss to Cleveland. Miscommunications.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence talking about. I mean, what are we talking about?
Let me.
Come on, Tony.
There's another way to say that.
I think that Trevor, and I'm not saying he's without blemish or without sin. Ultimately, I watch the tape and I have theories and I can make some assumptions. But
well, we love to hear your theories.
But I don't think it's miscommunication. I think it's called a missed assignment or a mental error. I mean, at least that's what we used to call them.
Call it is what it is.
Somebody screwed up.
And it is clear on certain situations that Trevor thinks someone's going to zag and they zig. Okay. Just to keep it as simple as possible. Perfect, the interception in the red zone, by the way. It's I believe it's 1st and 10 on that play as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's Calvin's running a route, and Trevor, I think, believes he's going to sit it down at 12 yards, and Calvin breaks it off like a slant. By the way, into coverage.
Almost like a post route.
Like a skinny post.
But a very nonchalant, doesn't even get his head back post route.
And it's into coverage. This is why I'm pretty positive that it was the wrong route. And Trevor's throwing on time. He's throwing to a spot, and the guy's not there.
Much like, let's go back real quick before we go to the next play from yesterday. You go back to the Bengals game when Trevor got stepped on.
That's right, Parker Washington.
He was expecting Parker Washington to do something, and he was unloading the ball and then had to stop it because Parker Washington was not decisive in what was being asked of him. Okay, now we're back to yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, those are examples. I mean, on this one, I don't know. I mean, there's a post. I'm not sure. It's first down and 10 again, I believe, and I'm not sure why Trevor even throws it. I think he believes the backside safety can't get there. He throws it like it's going to be a skinny post and work vertical. Zay breaks it more of a traditional post, kind of breaks it more towards the middle of the field, and it leads to an interception.
I think that one might be on Trevor.
Yeah, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's Trevor bad.
I had to guess.
Yeah, me too. So I have no idea. But just, I mean, and you can even see it at times, and I've noticed it the last couple of weeks where, you know, sometimes we see Trevor, and maybe it is Trevor sometimes, that the ball's just way off target. Yeah. I believe a number of those times is the depth of the route is not correct. So Trevor's throwing to a spot on timing based on depth of route. Like each of these routes have, like, it's a 12-yard out. It's an 18-yard comeback. Well, if you all of a sudden take that 18-yard comeback and shorten it at 15, you've changed the timing. Or if you take a 12-yard out and you run it at 9 yards, the quarterback's throwing to a 12-yard out. I mean, that's just simple football.
You got to be precise.
That's right.
And you got to be consistent, and you got to be dependable to be able to function in an NFL offense. So let me go to the other interception, which was down the sideline. Okay, Trevor's got pressure, okay, coming up the middle. He's got to get rid of the ball. Okay, so if you guys are playing quarterback and you know that pressure's coming, your first thought is, I've got to get rid of this ball, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to really quick process in your mind where you need to get rid of the ball at. And more than likely, you guys are probably going to decide to throw it somewhere where maybe one of your guys has got a really good chance of beating the defender one-on-one to make a play, correct?
Well, I'll even go further, Jeff. Not only I'm going to go somewhere where at worst I got a 50-50 ball chance.
50-50 ball.
Against where and by then I'm going to figure out who's my best guy. Should be my best guy. 50-50 balls.
Should be.
And I'm going there because I got pressure. I know I got man coverage. I'm going to go take a shot.
All right. Well, here's the play. Trevor gets the ball, and here comes pressure up the middle. He knows that Calvin Ridley is out on the right side, and he's got single coverage, and he's going to launch it. Okay. Now let's focus in on Calvin's route. Calvin comes off the line of scrimmage, runs vertical, bends it to the outside to go vertical once again, but the defender stays on top. Okay, that's fine. But you still have to go. Okay? Well, he takes it from out of fifth gear and puts it into fourth gear or third gear even. Slows down a little bit. Well, the ball's on the way. And then once he realizes the ball's on the way, now he's trying to catch back up again while the defender's on top and makes an easy interception. If he had just kept running, in my opinion, he would have at the least made it tough for the defender to make an interception, and at best, maybe he makes a play.
Or maybe he get pass interference.
Yeah, or gets a flag.
Right. Finish the play.
And my point is that this year, a lot of people have asked the question about, and I'm not just focusing on one guy because it's across the board. Not across the board, but it's you got issues here and there. But Calvin Ridley needs to be more dependable and more reliable and more consistent. I mean, if you're going to be that guy, that's what you've got to be. And I've noticed over the last couple of weeks that they're trying to, not this past game, but in weeks prior, they were really trying to, I think, keep him engaged and involved with the reverses and such to keep his, keep him involved in the game. Because, I mean, there was games where he just didn't have a lot of targets. And I think part of the reason why, is you're not going to target a guy if you can't depend on him.
This game, he had 13 targets, 4 catches. Zay Jones, 14 targets, 5 catches. That's 27 targets, only 9 receptions between your two top guys.
Which is a terrible catch percentage. I mean, let's look at Evan Ingram.
Ingram. I was going to say, are they our top guys?
Well, I mean, receiver-wise, right? I mean, Ingram's the guy.
I think, the offense,
Just real quick, Evan Ingram, okay, 12 targets, 11 receptions. Okay, and I'm not saying that that's the kind of number that you expect out of your top receivers every week, but, I mean, if you look at the top receivers in the league, their catch percentage is much higher than where it's at for the Jaguars wide receivers, and that has to be better. And it's exactly what Trevor's talking about. Trevor's talking about dependability, we've got to be accountable. And, look, he's trying to own some of the responsibility himself and making sure that he's deflecting it and owning some of it himself. But here's the problem. When your quarterback starts talking about that stuff, it's been going on for a little while.
Yeah.
And it's a problem.
We remember early in the season when Ridley had the drop and then the next drive had a false start. And then he later in the game had another drop and had a second false start. And it just kind of snowballed for him in that game alone. In a game like this, same idea, right? On the Parker-Washington touchdown, on the other side of the play, it looked like Calvin Ridley's like looking at the referee on the side.
Yeah, I think he was arguing with the referee because if you go back to that play, that was the play that what's it, Demarius? No, that's not Demarius.
Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius Smith, thank you. It's not Demarius, it's Zadarius.
A lot of names.
Zadarius Smith is offsides because he thinks we've moved and he's standing in the neutral zone.
He thinks Sheriff false started.
And somehow the official doesn't call the flag.
Which is terrible because this is worse than Kadarius Toney.
He's standing in the neutral zone.
Yes.
Right. And
I think Kadarius Toney's offside. This is way better.
This is much more obvious. And I think Calvin, which I'm not saying he should be, he should just go run it's a free play or if you whatever is. I think it's the same play. He's arguing with the official why the official's not throwing the flag.
That's what the job description is of
the
a
head coach. Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
But let's go back to. How
do they fix it?
By the way, real quick on that play.
Yeah.
Trevor didn't throw to the right guy.
No, but it turned out all right.
Very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky because that ball should have been intercepted. But Evan Ingram was the open guy. He literally leaks out late to the right, and it's a walk-in touchdown and an easy throw for Trevor. Trevor missed that one.
Well, he didn't want Evan to have 3 touchdowns on the day.
Yeah, that's probably too many.
Spread it out a little. Hey, how do they figure this out, though, this communication issue? Is it too late? It's Week 15 again. There's 4 big games left.
Well, we've talked about this in the past. There's 2 solutions. Either players and both you can do both at the same time. Number one, it's your job. Know the playbook. Be accountable to your teammates and to the organization. You're getting paid to play football. Know what you are supposed to do. If you don't understand it, ask. It's just simple work. Study, film, practice, repeat. There's no secret formula. Like these teams who are on the same page, they do something different. So it starts with player accountability. Trevor, all the receivers, offensive line, player accountability. Know your job and do your job. Secondly, I think it's the job of the coaching staff. I think you got to look and say, are we asking too much? Because at the end of the day, your job as a coach is to put your players in a position to succeed and give them what they can handle. And I'll say the same thing on defense. If you're having busts every game where guys – that's not fair, not every game. But if you're having busts that are costing you games, either you have guys who aren't studying, preparing, and are ready, or you're giving them too much. And you have to simplify it so guys can play fast. And I think if I'm – if you're Press Taylor and you look at the game plan, do you take a step back and say, okay, what are we going to put in? Because obviously we can't handle. And at the same time, this is a very simple relationship. The players, you have to earn the confidence and the trust of the coaching staff.
Sure, yeah.
That's your job. And so they need to go, and Trevor said it best, look in the mirror, have an honest assessment saying, am I doing everything I need to be prepared for Sunday? And am I doing my job on Sunday? And if not, you need to change those things.
Well, there's a couple solutions from a coaching standpoint. Okay, once you look at it and you say, okay, are we asking too much? And if the answer is no, okay, then you go to the player and see if you can fix it. And then if all of a sudden you can't fix it, then you go to another player to try to fix it. I mean, it's just how it works. I mean, it's, you got to be able to have production, dependability, availability, reliability, accountability, production.
A lot of abilities.
That's a long list of abilities.
Well, and when you look at the offense, it's an interesting dilemma they have, because they're beat up front. I mean, we're on our fourth left tackle. I mean, maybe I know was.
I hope Ezra Cleveland's okay. By the way,
yeah, sounds like that he was cleared.
Yeah, word is there's no structural damage. Yeah, it sounds like
that's what Doug Peterson said.
And I guess there's a possibility they might get Walker Little back.
That's what Doug said today too.
And so that's a good start. I mean, you always want your best players out there, but you look at the trend we're on 6, 7, whatever games it is, 8 games where we can't. We're having a hard time rushing at the length of the football. I don't think the formula for this team is to have 57 pass plays and 17 rushes. That's not sustainable. So now you have to think about we're not going to find brand new personnel. I mean, Luke Fortner is a second-year young player who is not playing physical. He does not move people. He's a position blocker. That's a problem if you want to run downhill. Brandon Sheriff has had all kinds of lower body angles. At this point of his career, he is not a smash mouth, hand to the ground, grind it, move you off the ball. He's very athletic. He's very smart. He's a good stabilizing force. But that's just – and so I think if you're pressed, that. You're not changing that. Unless you're willing to change personnel. If that's your center and that's your right guard, you got a rookie at right tackle who's very athletic, good player. I didn't think he was his best on Sunday. I've seen him play much better coming in, but he's a solid player. You got questions at left guard. Shatley's a guy who's been around, and you got huge questions at left tackle because Blake Hanson's your fourth guy. And so you have to step back and say, we're going into a game this week against – if you think Cleveland was physical, Baltimore's front seven is 2X as physical.
I saw a number today, real quick. The 49ers, I think their point differential this year is like plus 280. And the second place team in point differential are the Ravens. They're like plus 165 point differential.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
They're good. That's unbelievable.
They're good football.
I mean, both numbers. I mean, the San Francisco one is just. Maybe I'm a little high on that, but
they're clearly the best team.
That is crazy. Maybe you can confirm that, JP, but I'm pretty sure that's what the numbers were. And I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, because the first one that I saw was the 49ers, and then I said, all right, well, let's see who would be in second place.
Yeah. San Fran's at 175 net points, and Dallas at 188 now, by the way.
Plus 188?
Yeah. Overall net points.
After blowing them out last night.
After last night. Maybe Baltimore's at 143.
So Baltimore's third.
Right there. Right. Yeah, they're right there.
You were in the right neighborhood.
I was 100 off on the 49ers one.
But your point is
the Jaguars are 22.
And your point is
good football team.
Forget about the point because I think it's all valid points. Yeah. My biggest concern, based on how we are playing football right now and watching how. At least from the sense of watching tape and watching it live, that Press feels like he has to call the game right now, that he can't run the ball and play a physical game offensively. It's not who they are. Well, you are now facing, I think this is a much better defense. I know Cleveland's numbers, I think, are a little bit better as far as yards given up per game.
They were number one, and Baltimore's number two.
I think Baltimore's better because they're better. I mean, they don't have Myles Garrett, but they have about 3 or 4 guys who can rush the passer and get after it. And this is a physical game, so it'll be very interesting. How do you neutralize that defensive front that you know is going to be physical when that really isn't your calling card right now as a team?
We'll dig into that a little bit later on next week's game against the Baltimore Ravens. Sign up your furry friend for the Jaguars official 4-legged fan club for pets presented by Forever Vets Animal Hospital. Your pet will receive access to exclusive merchandise, events, and sweepstakes throughout the season. Visit Jaguars.com/promotion/4-legged fan club and sign up today. We are live from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. Come on out and see us. We're here until 6 o'clock. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high-quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
I knew it was a possibility, but you know what I'm saying, I just came home, worked hard every day through the week.
That's Antonio Johnson, rookie defensive back, and welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. Johnson with 2 tackles, a sack, a pass defense, and a forced fumble in the game yesterday. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, and Jeff Lageman from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra. Glad you're with us. We're here until 6 o'clock on this Monday. Pete Prisco coming up in a little bit. Second hour, we'll keep it real as we always do. And Fanatics fan questions plenty ahead as we recap the Jaguars and the Browns. And we're in the final stretch of the regular season. Only 2 home games left. Be there as the Jaguars go head-to-head with the Ravens this coming Sunday on Sunday Night Football. Grab your teal and help the Jags teal out the stands. Get your tickets at jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We're on 1010XL AM, jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube.
So,
yes,
a couple things, JP, because we have not done the show since before the Bengals game.
You're right.
The week before, because we obviously missed Monday night.
Yeah. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
There's a lot of noise, chatter going on that, frankly, you were the cause of this two-game losing streak.
Really?
Yeah, because you decided to jump in prior to the Bengals game, where Pete and I had a very good thing going. We've been calling wins, locking them,
double locking
them, and we've been right every time. And then all of a sudden, as we're leaving and going out, the Monday, the week prior to the Bengals game, you scream out triple lock.
Yeah.
And ever since the triple lock, we have not won a game.
It's true. However, I did call the Packers over the Chiefs.
No one cares. No one cares.
It would have helped us out.
If we keep losing, that's not going to help us.
It doesn't matter anymore. But I did call that.
So we need to figure out.
Well, I'm going to figure this out for you.
JP.
I will never lock anything again.
Good.
Ever.
Good.
I'm off the locks. It was a one and done. I piled on.
Oh, you piled on.
A little too much.
It was a flag.
It was egregious. Egregious.
Hit.
And I would have been flagged and probably ejected.
Yes, it was. So I just want to make sure that.
Kind of a bandwagon move there, JP.
That's fair. No, it's fair.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to triple lock.
And Jeff,
I'll up your double lock. I'm going to triple lock.
Exactly. And when you feel it in the moment, like that was a bad idea.
It's immediately what you said, too.
I immediately told him when he said, I said, that was bad. It's a bad idea. I don't like you doing that. And JP, you need to learn.
Yeah, well, I'm learning.
Yeah, learn.
I'm gonna go quadruple lock.
I had to watch those last two games too, Tony. I'm learning. Don't worry. That happens.
My goodness
Unbelievable,
gracious!
right?
What?
So we just heard from Antonio Johnson there.
Yeah, he.
Good
tell
game.
you what.
These guys are out there a lot because there's injuries in the secondary now, right?
But
Tyson Campbell, Herndon, Cisco left the game yesterday.
Jeff, because remind me. He was a safety in college, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He did
both.
He played
nickel.
safety and nickel.
Yeah.
And then in this game, he played nickel.
Yeah, he played nickel. I knew this week
he
played nickel. And I mean, it's a small sample size. We saw him in camp, and we've seen him a little bit in the regular season. But boy, I like
this guy's stud.
I like what I see.
I'm just telling you right now. I mean, I said it in training camp, and he had the injury though that slowed him down. This guy's a stud.
He has great feet. He has good
speed, length.
He's physical. I was like, okay, not bad. Now it's a small sample size. I mean, you got to. And I'd still at this point rather have Trey Herndon out there because Trey Herndon is in the right spot, right time. He might be limited in man coverage at certain matchups, but he is physical in the run game.
It's your starting safety next year, probably.
He's a great blitzer.
One of your starting safeties next year, and here's
Antonio Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, and
that wouldn't surprise me.
Here's the other thing that he can do. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Kyle Hamilton. Which is the safety for the Ravens who got dinged up, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, day to day.
And he's got the length, and he plays nickel. And he's, most people I remember the first time I watched Kyle Hamilton on film, and I was like, there's no way that a guy that's got the length like him can play nickel in the NFL because that's what he was doing a little bit of in college at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he gets to the NFL and
he's
playing nickel, and I'm talking like really good at it. And I was like, holy cow. I mean, he's not many guys that have a lot of length can have the quickness to be able to play nickel to cover a guy like a Christian Kirk.
Yeah, short area quickness.
And Antonio Johnson, I'm telling you, folks, this guy is a really, really good acquisition, and he's got a very bright future.
Jaguars defense this week against this Ravens offense. Lamar Jackson is the leading rusher by yardage. Gus Edwards punches it in for a touchdown. He had a long stretch of 9 of his 10 touchdowns were in a 5-game stretch recently. He's been in the end zone the last couple weeks.
The rookie, Zay
Flowers.
Yeah, Flowers.
The rookie.
So they've got
OBJ.
a few different guys.
But they're missing their best weapon in the passing game, and that's Mark Andrews, their tight end. If you look back over the last several years,
hip drop tackle.
He's the little baby blanket, the binky for
security blanket.
Security blanket. That's what I was looking for.
What was Linus's blanket called? Just his blanket, right?
Well, I had like my kids, like your booby or your bubby or whatever you call it.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, you call it like
what was that?
Yeah, bubby.
What's your blanket called?
What was the first thing you said? Well, wait a minute. What in the world is going on in Colorado?
You know what I mean. And
I think you actually referred to a part of the female anatomy there.
There's something wrong with you.
Men have those.
Is that okay on this show? I mean, I'm not usually here on Mondays. Is that what you guys do?
It's a different show on Mondays, Jeff.
Men have that body part as well, so don't be weird. My point is, Mark Andrews is the guy that when it breaks down or they needed big plays or a big first down, he was the guy that Lamar went to. So they're not as good as they were early in the season offensively, in my opinion, without Mark Andrews, but they still have a bunch of weapons, and they've changed their offense. This is not the old Veer offense that Lamar ran for the first 5 or 6, 7 years of his career. I mean, they drop back, they throw it around, and he still has the ability, obviously, to get out of the pocket and kill you with his legs. Yeah. It's a good group.
And the biggest change for the big leap in offense in Lamar Jackson's performance is their new offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, who is doing a tremendous job. And of course, look, Lamar Jackson just got a new contract.
He's playing well too.
And he's really taken ownership with the offense. And Monken has really made him take ownership. I don't say made him, but helped get him to take ownership of the offense. And, I mean, when you listen to Lamar Jackson now talk at the podium, and I watched a couple of his interviews earlier today, it's impressive. I mean, he's very aware, much more than he was in the past. And you can tell. I mean, he's instead of talking like, he's in undergraduate school, you can tell that he's upped his language and quarterback to graduate school or working PhD. On his doctorate or whatever. I mean, he's definitely taken a big step.
Well, that was the big question, in Greg Roman's old offense. The reason you heard a lot of people say, well, they run this offense because Lamar can't be a traditional drop back guy. He can't operate that way. And Todd Monken's come in and said, well, you're wrong. And Lamar is saying you're wrong. I can run an offense more traditional. I can be a pocket passer when need be. And they're dangerous. And they can run the ball. They can throw it. Now, but that doesn't worry me. Their offense isn't my big worry, JP.
Okay.
Their defense. Because you have a front seven that flat gets after you.
We'll dig into that in the second hour coming up in just a little bit. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We are here until 6 o'clock. Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. And this is Jaguars Happy Hour presented by Jet Home Loans.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. The kick is up. It's good!
Score winning sub deals this Jaguars regular season at Firehouse Subs. Get 2 medium subs for just $10 after any game when the Jaguars kick a field goal of 40 yards or more. It's a bold deal for the bold city. Sign up at firehousesubs.com/field goals for Firehouse for offer details and to automatically receive this offer when you use your Firehouse Subs rewards account. Redeemable only at participating Jacksonville and Orlando area restaurants. Only available on the Firehouse Subs app and online ordering.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative. results-driven marketing, and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Offensively, we were a little disconnected. Trevor and the receivers were a little off. We had opportunities to make plays in the first half, didn't. Obviously, the turnovers, are big, and you can't do that. We had a little success early running the football. With some of the things we did to keep them off balance, but just overall, just not enough plays made. Too many self-inflicted wounds, that kept us from sustaining drives or, staying on the field.
Head coach Doug Peterson after the game yesterday, and welcome back. We're at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach until 6 o'clock. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman, Pete Prisco coming up in hour number 2. He's got plenty to say, I'm sure. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. That was immediately after the game yesterday, Tony.
Yeah, and Doug said something that I agree with, but I want to clarify from my perspective at least. He says, we did some good things early in the run game. And you say, well, then how do you only have 17 rushes to your running backs and under 3 yards a carry? And they did have some success on 2 pin and pulls. And one wham play. The problem with those plays, those are plays where you, because of the formation, or you catch someone by surprise, or the angles that you catch them in the right look, that just by getting in people's way, and you can, it's more position and pull type of things, you can have success. I don't believe those things are repeatable over the length of a 60-minute game. And we saw them try, if you look at the first play of the second half that Jeff was talking about, they're trying to pull and get outside and do stuff like that, but because your center is 5 yards in the backfield, right, everyone gets muddled up. They ran a very nice wham play, which is, the wingback traps the tackle, or the defensive tackle, you work up linebackers. They did a nice job, and they got 7 or 8. They tried to run it again. They got 0 because – you start recognizing
We've seen this before.
The defense starts recognizing it. Where good run teams, what they do is they line up and they say, we're going to run inside zone. We don't think you can stop it. And, we'll do it out of different formations and different looks to keep you honest and keep you off. But we're just going to line up, put our hand in the dirt. We're going to double you up to the next linebacker. Our back's going to take 1 cut. And we're going to go get 4 yards. We're going to go get 3 yards. And then by the fourth quarter, those are 5, 6, 20 yards.
And a couple of the plays that they had that were successful, they were quick snaps. And so they caught Cleveland a little bit.
It's kind of the trick. You got to trick them.
Right.
You got to trick them. You got to fool them.
And, the one thing that's very difficult against the Cleveland Browns is that, when you combo block to try to get up to the next level, those linebackers flow so fast that you really can't combo block up to that next level. But the reality is that, watching that game and watching the film.
You actually can combo block at the next level, Jeff, if you take the right angles.
If you're really good. But watching the Cleveland Browns and watching their 2 guards, Wyatt Teller and Joel Bitonio.
They got up there.
Those 2 guys are really good. And I'm talking really good.
They're Pro Bowl guys,
really
right?
fit, like 7 Pro Bowls between them. And they lost their center, Ethan Posick, and then their backup center, Nick Harris, was the guy that actually in short yardage and stuff, he plays fullback for them. So he was lined up at the beginning of the game when they were in short yards. That touchdown to Njoku, he was the fullback lined up in the backfield. That's not something that's uncommon. He is the fullback on their depth chart, which is odd. Okay.
That's funny.
Your backup center is your starting fullback.
The more you can do, I guess.
But that's a football team that is committed to running the ball, and they do a good job. And obviously, they had to be committed to running the ball over the course of the last number of weeks because of all the change at quarterback that they've had. And the other thing about that game, watching it, Myles Garrett was literally every moment that you watch him, you just go, you wonder when he's just going to turn it on. Because when he turns it on, you can't stop the guy.
But I'll say this, Jeff. If you look at the entirety of that game, he did not mess up the game.
No, he didn't wreck it.
He did not wreck the game.
No, the Jags did a pretty good job.
They did a good plan. I mean, even the
contained them.
Even the sack he had in the 2-point play, it was after Trevor had to hold it a little bit. It wasn't just now. Trevor did a good job getting rid of him a couple times because he won right away.
Why did we go for 2?
We can talk about that.
This is another whole hour to go.
By the way, wait to hold that question until Pete gets on because Pete will have a field day.
I'd like to know. I mean, I'm trying to understand the mentality there.
I got some theories. I'm not saying they're right, but I got some theories.
We'll save it for Pete.
Yeah, save it for Pete. It's a good question.
Probably a question on why they went for it and left it in field goal range too. But
there's a couple game situations we'll talk about in the second hour.
Yeah,
there's 3. We went for it twice. One I know for sure the analytics say to go for it down.
2-point you're talking about?
Yeah, we had 2 points. We want to talk about both those situations. And then late in the game, basically had 3:48 and 3 timeouts. You're going for it on 4th and 6 or 7.
That's where they use the timeout.
They use the timeout.
On that play, okay.
But is it the right decision to go for it there, or is punting it away and playing defense and getting the ball back with a chance to tie it?
Well, we didn't get it.
Could have taken a delay game there and punted it.
And they hit a 55-yard field goal to take a 10-point lead. We'll get to that. We got a whole hour ahead. We're out to Pete Prisco. We are live at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. Come out and join us until 6 o'clock. Hour 1 on the books. Hour 2 next. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. If you're in the market for a full-size 8-passenger SUV, look no further than the Defender 130. And with the Defender 90, the 110, and this 130, there's luxury in the right size for everyone. Right, Sammy?
Plus, when you buy or lease from Land Rover Jacksonville, you'll become a member of the Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, our cafe, and much more, all at no charge.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Too many mistakes, penalties, missed opportunities, missed throws, drops, just not playing sound football. I think we were just so inconsistent. It was hard to get in a rhythm. It feels like all the close plays like we didn't make that you need to get some momentum back in games, and it seemed like all of those we just weren't able to make today. We got to watch this tape and really learn from it because there was a lot on there that we got to clean up and get better from. It was just walking off the field, you feel like we missed so many opportunities and left a lot out there and really just shot ourselves in the foot over and over.
There's the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, after the game in Cleveland yesterday, and welcome back. It's the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings. We are on location at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra Beach until 6 o'clock tonight after a Jaguars loss to the Browns. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman. The Jags drop another, this time 31-27 the final. Trevor Lawrence played through the ankle injury, but he also threw 3 interceptions in the game. Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones, the receivers, combined for 27 targets and only 9 catches in the game. The Jags defense had issues as well. They gave up nearly 400 yards. Joe Flacco over 300 yards passing. But the Jaguars did not lose ground in the AFC South race. A game up on the Colts and Texans, 4 to go. Sunday night football this week for the Jaguars. For the first time since 2008, the Ravens come to town with the number 2 defense in the NFL. Great against the pass, number 1 in sacks. They run the daylights out of it. Lamar Jackson and all the rest. Pete Prisco joining us now, CBS Sports senior writer for the second hour of Jaguars Happy Hour. Good afternoon, Pete. How are you?
There's Petey. We can't hear you,
Can't
Pete.
hear Pete.
Sorry, Pete. You can't.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, it can be a good thing when you can't hear Pete. I sometimes like putting him on mute. So we'll have to work on some technical difficulties here, but
I can't wait to hear what Pete has to say.
Pete looked good. I was going to give him the floor and almost give him the whole segment and just say, Pete, unload on us.
All right, hey, real quick, I want to go ahead and say this because we haven't said anything about this. I give Trevor a lot of credit.
Tough as heck.
You're talking about a quarterback coming back playing from a high ankle sprain.
Sure.
I mean, how do you do that? I mean, folks, high ankle sprains are typically anywhere between 3 to 6 weeks of inactivity, of being inactive. And he was able to come back and play in 6 days. 6 days. I mean, that's insane. And to be mobile in 6 days. How do you do that?
He has special healing powers.
Wow.
And he's Gumby.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He's Gumby.
He's done it multiple times. Detroit last year, he got twisted up and came back in the game. Obviously, we know what happened with the knee thing this year and coming back to play in a really short week. And now somehow gets out of this one. Monday night, you'd have thought he's done for 4 or 5 weeks at least.
It was,
and then now he's jumping buildings with a single bound.
And speaking from an offensive lineman's perspective, I can't even describe how far that goes when your quarterback has that mentality and that toughness and guts it out and is out there. Like, as an offensive lineman, you're like, that's the dude I want to block for. That's the dude I want to go to war with, because this isn't some prima donna or different, he's a tough dude who wants to play ball and he wants to win.
And what you'd like to have is for those, and we had mentioned this in our broadcast at the beginning, that you want those around him to elevate their level of play to make it easier to help him. And I don't think that happened.
Well, now let's talk about some guys who I thought did play pretty well. Evan Ingram had a great day.
Sure he did.
He's having really good days back-to-back.
2 good weeks.
Absolutely.
2 good weeks.
12 targets, 11 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns for Ingram.
And I'm going to give 2 guys that wasn't always pretty, but not easy duty. Before Ezra got hurt, I give him credit. Hadn't played one snap in the NFL at left tackle and is going out there and blocking Myles Garrett. Now, did they help him? Yeah, but he was also out there a couple times one-on-one before he got hurt. In fact, the first touchdown, he is one-on-one when he twists his knee, but he's one-on-one with Myles Garrett. Myles puts a great move on it, and he sits it down and protects Trevor's backside and allows the touchdown to happen. And then you have a guy in Blake Hands who's sitting on the sideline, and I'm sure when he saw Ezra get hurt, he's like, are you kidding me?
Uh-oh.
And he went out there, and was it pretty all the time? No, but did he go fight his tail off?
He fought.
He fought, and you know what? Myles Garrett did not mess up the game. We didn't lose because we couldn't block those guys up front. We didn't lose because Trevor was getting harassed the entire game.
Yeah, the
we didn't win because we didn't run the ball.
As a lineman, Tony, the worst block you can have is what we call the lookout block.
Oh my goodness! When you know you're beat right away.
Which you get beat right away, and you're beat clean, and your quarterback doesn't have a chance. You want to at least slow a guy. And I thought that, look, Blake is in a tough matchup, but he never had a lookout block.
No, there wasn't
Which we call it a lookout block because the offensive lineman gets beat and he turns around and goes, look out!
You don't want those. That's bad for business.
Not when you have a franchise, not with anybody, but especially a franchise quarterback with a bad ankle.
Yes. So, I mean, give him credit. But Trevor, I mean, the toughness that he's displayed in his career now, 47 consecutive games played, just impressive. And I thought he played well enough to win. And I think that this team has got to be better around him and better on the other side of the ball to get a win like that. Because, look, when you're on the road, and I can tell you this too, that's a hostile environment. Trust me. Okay.
Oh yeah, what
we got to experience it firsthand.
Hold on. So for those who did not listen to the broadcast yesterday,
shame on you for not listening. By
the way, what are you doing? Second of all, you missed out on Jeff Lageman nearly jumping out of the booth apparently to go maybe chase down a Browns fan. Well, take us through what happened.
I'll give you the kind of the scene, and I'll let Jeff get into. Jeff was much more vocal with the fans.
Well, he was vocal on the air about it.
Well, no, but he should have. In the break, it was even more.
Okay.
Basically, we're sitting, and we had it's a great booth, by the way. Great vantage point. We're at the 40-yard line. In some of these newer stadiums, you're kind of in the corner at times. It was great. But the fans are literally right there. Like, the booth is here, and Jeff and I could touch the fans.
They touch the top of their heads.
Right there. In fact, at one point, some of the cool Brown fans asked Jeff to take a picture of them, and Jeff took a picture of them from the booth.
Cool.
That was an olive brand.
Yeah, nice. This was after. Well,
that worked out.
There was one guy.
They were the ones that weren't as drunk as the others.
There was a couple people together. Maybe they were brothers, and the nickname would be Summer Teeth because some were over there, some were over here. Summer Teeth.
Yes.
And he hadn't seen a dentist for a while, and he was very vocal, very
hammered,
and very vocal. Well,
very hammered.
We're sitting there, and Jeff and I are having fun back and forth. Well, all of a sudden, we're on the air and not even paying attention, and a beer.
When the Browns scored a touchdown, here comes a beer can.
A beer can comes flying into the booth
at a high rate of speed.
Almost hits Frank in the head.
and it was Summer Teeth and his buddy Mullet.
Yes. And I thought Jeff was going to, when we found out, Jeff was, we had to hold him back from jumping down out of the booth. And now, I'll say this. The press box attendant was outstanding in Cleveland. She came in. She heard about it. We didn't say it. Someone must have told them. And she came in. Oh, Dave told them.
Yeah, Dave DeCandis.
Dave DeCandis, our producer, runs the show in the every game. And they came and took pictures. And about 10 minutes later, Summer Teeth and his buddy were no longer sitting in the
Summer
stands.
And Mullet were gone.
They were gone.
Wow.
They were removed from the stadium.
But
Jeff was great though. Jeff got extra gear. He was ready to go.
Oh, I was ready. and then the problem was that once that Summerteeth and Mullet left, okay, now his buddies are all mad, okay, because they got tossed. But they didn't realize what they had done about throwing the beer can, okay, at a high rate of speed.
Very they just soft tossed it up there. Would that have made a difference?
So I was inviting them to come on in and to join us in the booth. We had plenty of room, okay, because it would have been a much better situation for me having the higher ground.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, that was one of the reasons why. Sure.
It was interesting, though. But back to Jeff's point, very hostile
and
environment.
here's the worst part. Okay, I got there's a glass wall to my right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in the far right side of the booth. Okay, Frank's on the far left side. Boselli's in between us, and Frank's got a closed wall by him because the Browns coaches are in the next booth.
Yep.
Okay, and the booth to our right, which has this glass wall, it's fandom. Okay, so you've got suites that have open seating outside. There's this 10-year-old kid
mocking Jeff
that's sitting there giving me the loser sign.
It was great. It was
through
great.
the glass the whole game.
I enjoyed every second of it, frankly.
And he's pounding on the glass
like he's a hockey game.
And I'm going, and I look at his dad, and I was like, you
the best.
really are allowing your 10-year-old kid
I loved it.
to show a total lack of respect
Zero
for others.
respect. But it was outstanding.
And JP, I almost did it, but I didn't.
Yes.
I wanted to reach because you can. Our booth is open and he was open. I was going to reach around the post and just grab him one time, just to to shock him a little bit. I was like, nah, better not.
Yeah, it would have been a two-man booth probably after that for a while.
Yeah, it might have been. But the kid was great, and the banter back and forth with him was fine. But Summerteeth and Mullet, it was nice knowing them, and it was nice talking to the rest of the guys after they got tossed, because it was a very pleasant conversation.
This is Jaguars Happy Hour. We are live at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra, 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. Pete Prisco, CBS Sports Senior Writer. Let's give it a try again. Pete, are you with us now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we have you at long last. How are you?
Good. By the way, what is Lageman doing in that seat? He's not part of this show. This isn't a fishing show. I don't have to hear him talking about going to his property and hunting and stuff. I don't need that.
Yeah, see, Pete's a big fan of the show.
Yes.
He listens to the outdoor show every week.
I do, too. I listen to the
I have it
outdoor
on
show.
sometimes.
Pete, because you weren't not available the first hour, and we figured we'd bring in we're in Ponte Vedra at Mr. Chubby's. I live right down the street. Jeff lives right down the street. So Jeff's like, hey, it's a home game. I'll come join you.
Nice.
And
like
Pete,
it.
I mean,
like
look,
it.
look.
The more the merrier
look.
to talk about that misery.
Free wings, too, Pete.
Yeah,
why not?
We got wings here for you, Pete.
Outstanding, by the way.
They are good. They're very good.
Every Monday they bring it to our production crew at the Miller Electric Center, and now we came to them here at Mr.
Well,
Chubby's.
and they also provide food at halftime for us during the games.
That's big. So, all right, we're avoiding the situation. Pete, we want to open the floor for a few minutes for you here. What the hell happened yesterday?
Well, let's be real. You got to give the quarterback credit for playing, but he was not very good at moments. But I think there were other issues at play, including wide receiver running the wrong route, which Calvin Ridley clearly did. There was miscommunication there. I think that defensively they can't get to the quarterback. I mean, if Josh Allen doesn't get there, nobody's getting there. Then that's 2 weeks in a row you made Jake Browning and Joe Flacco, two backups, one almost 140 years old, shred you throwing the football. There were way too many busts. And I tried to go through, and you guys might be able to. I watched the tape on the way home today from Kansas City. The busts in the secondary, I attribute number one to Rayshon Jenkins, number two to Aluakon, and number three, I was trying to get an idea who that was. It was either Darius Williams or Rayshon Jenkins. I couldn't quite figure that one out. But my gosh, you talk about guys running wide open. That can't happen. And so you combine it all together, and it was not a very good day for the Jacksonville Jaguars in Cleveland.
So I'll let Jeff, Pete, because we talked about those busts on defense. And I agree with you. The worst part of that game for me is that really you beat yourself at the end of the day. Now, there's certain things that give Cleveland credit. They were more physical at the line of scrimmage than we were. They did, some good things. But you take away 3 busts on defense, that's a completely different game. And I'll let Jeff, because we talked about who we think. I mean, we're making some assumptions based on what we know about the defense and how they play. So I'll let Jeff kind of go through each of those and kind of what he saw on tape.
All right, so the first one, Pete, which was 3rd and 1, and essentially the Browns are in a goal line personnel grouping. The Jaguars match with a goal line defensive grouping, and they're bringing pressure off the outside edges. And when you do that, a lot of times you ask a defensive end or a linebacker to play man on a tight end. And it looked like, from watching it, that Trayvon was in man coverage on Njoku. And in order to do that, a lot of people say, well, how can you ask a guy like Trayvon to do that? Well, you beat him up at the line of scrimmage to where he can't release, and you expect him to be able to run with Njoku, because Njoku is not a guy that has blazing speed. I think it was on Trayvon with that one. The second one to Njoku, I think it was Foyer got too aggressive on a run read and then got caught, and then he couldn't end up backing out and covering ground. And Devin Lloyd never even moved. He didn't buy the run fake. He was pointing in the direction of where the tight end was going, and Foyer was just so fast going downhill. And now the last one, which was the completion to the Bell guy?
Yeah, Bell.
David Bell.
Okay. When they started out, the wide receiver, one of the wide receivers was out wide, and you're in man coverage. And when the motion comes in, you're essentially playing an in and out. So you're playing man, but you're saying, okay, if one guy goes in, I got him. Another guy stays to the outside, I got him. A little confusion there between Darius and Rayshawn, because they both went to cover the same guy. And then when Darius realized that they both were going to the same guy, and that he, in my opinion, he was supposed to be on the outside guy, and he realized that, he plants his foot, slips, goes down to the ground, and by then it's too late. So that one is just miscommunication.
Yeah,
But the bottom line
play
is
that 2 different ways, right, Jeff? You can play that 2 different ways. You either go in and out, or you just play it straight and let the in guy go to Jenkins and he stays with the outside guy. I mean, that you could do that too. But you
can
think
there and say, okay, we're staying. Yeah, it's you can play cat coverage, which I say I got that cat. It doesn't matter what they do.
Right.
Okay,
right.
But then you can also play. Okay, I got the guy that goes in. You got the guy that goes out.
Banjo, right? And that's called. Yeah.
Yeah, but Pete, to your point, though, I mean, you look at this game, and I said it since the game yesterday, the Jaguars beat themselves with missed assignments, blown coverages, which is missed assignments, turnovers, and stupid penalties. It wasn't like they were, the big fear going to the game is Myles Garrett just going to take over the game?
Block him?
Can they block him? It's going to be just a complete mess because of the injuries to the offensive line. Well, for the most part, it was not. And Trevor had time to operate. Now, they still can't run the ball, and we talked about that already. I mean, it's like they can't run between the tackles. They physically can't do it. But as far as overall, if you don't have the missed assignments, including blown coverages, a lot of those missed assignments led to turnovers or touchdowns. That's a completely different game.
But can't you say that every week, Tony? I mean, you really can. If you play your assignment football, you're not gonna make those mistakes. And I think they do. I mean, they've been doing. And you know what else is getting worse? By the way, the tackling in the secondary is getting worse.
Yes.
I mean,
they've had 2 bad tackles
back there. That's a couple weeks in a row. There's been a lot of poor tackling back there. I want to say a couple things real quick. I thought Antonio Johnson added some speed to that defense. They might need to get him on the field more. Don't you think? I mean, he made a couple plays.
We talked about on
the tape a little bit. I think he's a guy that you need to get on the field. And then
Jeff's a big fan of Antonio Johnson.
2. What are you going for 2 for?
Hey, let's hold that thought. We'll come back and keep it real with your thoughts on some of the decisions at the end.
Pete, we want to talk about the going for 2, and would you have punted or gone for it in 4th and 7 with 3:48 left?
Hold that thought. It's Jaguars Happy Hour on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube, J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach, and Pete Prisco with us. We'll keep it real when we come back on Jaguars Happy Hour, presented by Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Taylor Doll here for Renewal by Anderson. Upgrade your home with a winning combination of style and performance. For a limited time, get 20% off of every window, 20% off all patio doors, and 20% off of installation. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Offer expires October 31st. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Anderson, proud to be the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue, we are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Hey Florida, this is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
I think it was 4th and 10, yes, but 4th and 3 is a better chance percentages to pick up the first down. So there was another one that we decided to go for and got it.
Head coach Doug Peterson after the game yesterday. Welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. We are live at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach on A1A. Hope you'll join us here until 6 o'clock. J.P. Shadrick, Hall of Famer Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman here, and Pete Prisco with us on the line as always. And it's time now for Keeping It Real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real ingredients. Award-winning line by Robert Mondavi, and we have questions about some of the decisions toward the end of the game. And let's start with the Jaguars with just about 4 minutes to go. 3:34 to play. Jaguars are facing 4th and 3 from their own 38-yard line. They had to burn a timeout before the 4th down play. They decided to go for it. Lawrence throws incomplete short right to Zay Jones. They turn it over on downs. The Browns get 1 yard on the ensuing drive, 3 plays, and kick a 55-yard field goal to go up 10. Pete?
So, hold on, before we go to Pete. So, it was only 4th and 3. I thought it was like 5 and 6. Okay, so I was wrong.
It was 4th and 3.
I don't change my opinion, but 4th and 3. So, Pete, you go first.
All right, I think it was 4th and stupidity. I mean, you got to punt it. You have to punt the football because here's why. If you don't get it, which they didn't, you're automatically giving them a field goal that puts the game essentially out of reach. If you punt them in, let's just say flip it forward. You punt them back, and you have the same exact situation where you limit them to 1 yard. then you're going to get the football back. And you're going to have a chance to go tie the game. Or maybe Doug Peterson would go for 2 and try and win the game. So I think I didn't like the decision. I would have punted the football right there. And I think you guys probably agree with me.
Well, and I think you're assuming, Pete, that you're going to get a stop, and also assuming that you're going to get good field position after the stop. But that happened earlier in the game, and the guy that punts for the Cleveland Browns kicked the 75-yard punt, and you didn't get good field position. So I'm against you guys a little bit here on this, and then I'm okay with it. 4th and 3 with a good quarterback and one of the best tight ends in football. I just wish he had been the primary.
Yeah, I guess I understand why Doug went for it, but I still disagree with it. And let me correct myself, because I said earlier in the show it was like 4th and 6 or 7. It doesn't change my perspective whether it's 4th and 6
You
or
still
7
punted it.
or 4th and 3. I'm still punting it, because if you don't get it because of their kicker, you're basically the game's ending.
Well,
because especially with the onside rules now, the chances of getting an onside kick are so low. And you got, I mean, at some point, you keep your timeouts for a reason, and punting's part of the game. Punt it deep, get a 3 and out, even if he booms another one, Jeff, to your point.
Yeah.
You're going to get the ball at your 15 or 20, with over 2 minutes left, because you used all 3 timeouts, and that's an eternity to go score a touchdown.
And Tony,
2 minutes?
if you don't blow the timeout, if you make the decision right away, you have 3 timeouts in the 2-minute warning.
No, I would never even. Yeah, I would just take a delay of game.
Send the punt team out.
Punt it.
Get before the 3rd down play. You say, if we don't get it, we're going to punt, and then we're going to go play there. So you don't have to use the other timeout. And so, by the way, move over, Boselli. There's a new company man in town, and on the set there, it's Jeff Lageman. He just took over your place. He's defending his team. He's defending.
No, but Pete, I mean,
now look, Pete, if it had been 4th and 6 or 7 or 8. I would think completely differently about it. But 4th and 3, and here's the problem, Pete, because the Jaguars' defense this year has not done a great job. When they needed to give the ball back to the offense this year, they haven't done the job in that category.
Yeah, and I guess my problem with
I just think Tony, the game's over. If you don't get it.
Yeah, because if you don't get it, the game's over with 3 minutes left in the game. It's over.
Now, here's the other decision.
Hold on. Before I want to finish this one real quick, because that's what this guy, their kicker, had not missed over 50 all year. And so if you don't pick it up, you are ending the game. And I think you tried to extend the game and give yourself as many chances as you possibly can. And let's go back. Let's say you get 4th and 3. You still have 60 yards to go.
Right.
To do anything. It's not like you're going for it at the 50, at the plus 45, where if you don't get it, you can still get a 3 and out. I would be all for that. My problem was, if you don't get it, you end the game if they make the field goal.
You know who you really miss in that situation? Christian Kirk.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, you could say that for the next few weeks for sure.
Missed them all
day.
The
other decision that, as we're keeping it real, presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi, the Jaguars score a touchdown, 1:37 to go. Lawrence to Ingram, a 2-yarder, and so they're down 4 and decide to go for 2 and make it a 2-point game. Instead, they missed it. It was still a 4-point game, still needing the onside kick. Pete, what do you think?
That makes no sense whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. You cannot defend that. Doug Peterson cannot defend that. What's the point of it? Oh, we're going to go win it? You still got to get the onside kick and go get the field goal anyways. If you eliminate, by not getting that, you eliminated the chance to go get a field goal to send the game to overtime. It made no sense to me. None. I will never. And look, they can pull out their analytics book all they want. There's no defense of that at all. You definitely kick the extra point, and then you hope you get the onside kick and go to overtime.
So
hold on real quick, just so I can prove to Pete that I'm not a company man. I agree with you, Pete.
There you go, Jeff. I like it. There you go.
Pete, I agree. I would not have gone for it, but it bothers me less than the not punting it on 4th and 3 with 3 timeouts, because the reality is
game already.
Well, my point is, I mean, because getting an onside is such low probability in today's NFL. But let's just say you get the onside. whether you made that 2-point conversion or not, you still had a minute 44 left.
Right. It wasn't like 10 seconds.
It wasn't like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
And so
you can score a touchdown.
You can still score a touchdown and win it. I'm with you. I wouldn't have done it, but it doesn't bother me as much because the biggest risk is getting the onside. So, okay, like that one didn't bother me. I did not like 4th and 3 timeouts against. Let's call it. I mean, you talked about the defense not doing great in those situations. Take away those 3 explosives, which I always hate when defensive coordinators do this, except for these 3 plays. We were really good. But take away those 3 explosives. The Browns averaged under 3 yards of rush as well. It was 2.9. And so it wasn't like they were gashing you on the ground. It was bad coverage that would killed you that day. The other 7 they got to get to 28 was when Parker Washington fumbled on the 20 and they only had to go 20 yards. So it wasn't like this was a Cleveland team just marching up and down the field. It was poor coverage, poor execution, and turnovers that led to those points, which is another reason I would have kicked it deep and played defense.
All right, there you have it. That's Keeping It Real, presented by...
JP,
yes,
Pete. Back to the... Tony, you made a good point. Whether you got the 2-point play or not, the onside kick was in play. So what's the difference? Why not keep your hopes up that maybe you have a chance? I didn't get that at all. That one was strange.
It didn't bother me as much, but I'm with you, Pete. I'd have just kicked the next point.
Logs, that's how we do Keeping It Real. Presented by Woodbridge by Robert Mondavi. Open up a winner today. Real Ingredients award-winning wine by Robert Mondavi. We're back.
The rest of the way we can fake it now because that's over.
The real part is over.
Real's over.
It's all fake from here.
Yes.
Including Fanatics fan questions. Those are next. It's Jaguars Happy Hour live from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Reconnect with the best version of you at Amara Med Spa, Northeast Florida's premier luxury medical spa, located in Ponte Vedra, Town Center, Avondale, St. Augustine, and Fernandina. With the most advanced injectors, estheticians, and technology, Amara Med Spa is redefining beauty, offering services such as Botox and filler, M-Sculpt Neo, painless laser hair removal, and advanced skincare treatments. Visit theamaramedspa.com and book a complimentary consultation today.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Huddle up, score the title of most fired up Jags fan, and win the ultimate VIP watch party experience. 505 Southwestern has teamed up with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Yucatan Guac to give you and 30 friends an unforgettable experience. Hang with Jackson DeVille and the Roar cheerleaders at the Bono's Town Center location as you cheer on the Jags during their last game of the season against the Titans. Free food, course beer, and prizes included. Enter to win at jaguars.com/sweepstakes.
Felt pretty good, all things considered, so that was a positive out of today. I guess that's about the only one, but I didn't re-injure my ankle and didn't tweak it or anything. Felt pretty good. It held up. I was able to move when needed. It was good.
That's the quarterback, of course, Trevor Lawrence, playing on a high ankle sprain yesterday in Cleveland. And welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach. Pete Prisco on the line with us after a Jaguars loss in Cleveland to the Browns, 31-27. We've got Chubby-style wings here.
They're outstanding.
Jason Dean has loaded tots, it looks like.
Just what you need, Jason, just what you need.
Dave didn't get anything? No. Oh, he's okay. It's on the way. It's en route. Okay. And the same for...
he ordered 2 entrees.
Oh, wow. Aggressive. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, that's what you did.
Aggressive. Wow. 2?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Aggressive.
I mean, you see him at halftime, what he does at Mr. Chubby.
Oh, speak of the devil, here are here they are, the wings. 2 extra wings.
Good. 2 orders of wings.
Just for you, Dave?
Dave did not want 1. He wanted 2. Can I get 20 wings?
Here, let's do evidence. Let me see real quick. Come on, boy. Dave. Come on, we're proving this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brent Reber's over here as well. He might take some of them.
You see that, folks? There's another plate over there, and Dave was trying to take both, and now he's trying to pass it off so it doesn't look like that he's being, a glutton with all the wings.
Put those too close to Boselli. He's like one of those birds coming in,
I'm
swoop
good.
it in.
Good. I'm
stealing those
self-control.
wings.
It's hard with these wings.
They're really good.
Whatever rub they put on these things.
It's secret Chubby style.
Yeah, well,
and I like that they're not.
I want one of those.
Pete, they're good ones because they're not. They're nice, crispy. They're
not greasy.
There's no grease to them. I don't
Nope.
and they're not fatty, greasy. They're really good
And
wings.
they're big wings. They're
Oh,
massive.
outstanding.
Yeah, love that. Hey, time now for the Fanatics fan questions. Jags fans, gear up at Fanatics.com with all latest Jag styles. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything. We always put the cat signal out on Twitter, and we always kind of pick the best ones of the day. And I was called out before the show by a fan.
Yeah,
saying that I never pick his question ever.
Well, I thought did you see where you were called out by ruining the last 2 weeks because of the triple lock?
Yeah, that's a different story altogether. However, at Segundo's dad has the first question tonight, and he's here tonight. So thanks for coming up and calling us out. We appreciate it. It's a good question. Individually, the offensive line is a collection of solid players. Collectively, they aren't getting it done. Is there an explanation why the Jags can't run between the tackles and keep a clean pocket?
Well, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
The pocket.
Don't point at me.
No. I'm going to let you.
You pointed at you,
offensive lineman.
He pointed at you, and then he started to answer the question.
I was pointing to you because we talk about it all the time, and we're on the same page. I disagree with the clean pocket. Now,
they hit him 12 times yesterday.
They did. That's a good unit. But until yesterday, it wasn't like the Bengals were all over him. It wasn't like the Texans were all over him. It wasn't like whoever we played before that. I mean, so I'm not sure it's fair to say the protection has been bad for the last 7 or 8 games.
Okay.
The run game, I agree with. Mm-hmm. That's a good unit. Now, he got hit too much, and there was a couple times just unnecessary hits.
Whacked.
In my opinion, but
and a couple times because an offensive lineman just didn't even finish.
Just finish the play.
Just finish the block.
You got him. Finish.
I mean, that's not asking something that's superhuman. Finish the block. Okay? The old saying, play to the whistle.
Play the echo of the
play
whistle.
to the whistle. I'm trying to do my best.
Yes, very well done.
Herm Edwards imitation.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Pete, what do you think about all this on the O-line?
Well, let's talk about the run game before we go to Pete.
Okay.
You want to take the first shot? You want me to?
No, you go ahead. You started off.
They do not move people. They are not a physical, downhill, displace people type of offensive line. They are out of a 2-point most of the time. You have a center who's a tall guy, but plays with high pad level, and isn't physical. Isn't physical at the line of scrimmage. Isn't physical getting up to the next level. I think I think Brandon Sheriff is, he's an older player. He's had some lower body injuries. I don't think he has the power right now to move. Is he smart? Is he in the right place? Absolutely. Is he a good puller? But as far as just being physical and move people, and so we have an offense that's very horizontal, very position block, looking for an angle and pull guys and try to get outside and try to fabricate run lanes. It's not a physical group, and when you're not a physical group as the season goes on, people start understanding what you're trying to do and defend it and play against a good unit like Cleveland. They're gonna shut it down. But the reality is, it's not just good units who shut us down. We've been shut down the last 7 weeks.
I'll be real brief and let Pete talk here, but just a quick comment. This is a pass-first offense. And when you're a pass-first offense, sometimes it's hard to get that mindset. Okay, now we need to be physical. Okay, and so that makes it difficult, but you still have to be able to do it.
Yeah, but when we look at the Eagles and the way they play, and they move their center and get them on the move and everything else, they play physical. They didn't last night, but they usually do. I think the biggest part of the problem with running the football is the center. He's not big. I mean, he's not physical. You mentioned it, Tony. He plays too high. He gets immediately he's up and he's getting pushed. And when you can't get any push, that's a problem. Sheriff was terrible last week. He was a little bit better this week, I thought. Am I crazy to think that there's a possibility they can make a change at center and put Shatley in there if you want to really try and improve the run game or something? Because they're not running the ball at all. And Tony's right. It's a pull and pot. They pin and pull. Offense. There's angles and get to the second level, and they just don't do a good enough job of it. I don't know what the answer is, but they don't have enough bodies now to try and make any decisions, do they? I mean, think about it. Who's going to start this week at left tackle? Will Walker Little be back?
He's questionable.
It's a possibility, yeah.
So if he's not back, Blake can't start, right?
Well, there's a possibility Ezra Cleveland could be back, too.
Ezra's day-to-day, too.
All right, let me chime in right here because I'm a big believer. And, Tony, you've heard me say this for many years. I'm not a big fan of when you have an injury that you make two position changes because of one injury. So I would have been a bigger fan of, leave Ezra Cleveland at left guard and then put Blake Hansen at left tackle because it's a position that you're already going to help a ton with anyway. And because I think that continuity is key there. And because also, and we haven't mentioned this yet, if you have, let's say, Blake Hansen at left tackle, you help him with the tight end, and then you got to get the running backs to do a better job with the chips than what they did in this past game.
Maybe the worst I've seen.
It was not good.
Wow. Terrible.
It was unreal.
Pete, how many times do you remember, and one of the best ever in the history of the league because I felt it, was Eric Bieniemy, okay? When he used to do a chip, I'm talking he had a crosshair on ribs, and he was looking to break them. Fred Taylor was awesome at it.
Maurice was good at it.
Maurice was arguably the best in Jaguars history. We remember Sean Merriman?
Yeah. He's still feeling that. Yeah.
What we saw yesterday was not good.
It was the exact opposite of what you just described.
It's terrible.
But
it's terrible.
Going back to the offensive line in general and Pete, you asked, do you put Shatley at center? I don't know what you do, but there is – I think it impacts how they're calling plays. I agree, Jeff. They're a pass-first offense, no doubt about that, but not to the level of 57 called passes and 17 called runs in a game. But I don't think they have any confidence to run through in between the tackles because it's not just that we play very horizontal, very high. We're not physical. We don't finish. We don't stay on blocks. We don't even get to the next level and finish blocks that allow that next level run to break.
There's a lot of watching going on.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along to the next question. Let's get a couple more in here, guys. At SSBay_Z, why does it seem like when a team uses motion or misdirection on offense, our defense looks so confused, which leads to wide open receivers? Even the 4th and 3 the Browns scored to go up 28-14 was a blown coverage. Jeff?
You're the defensive expert.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. The motion I think that he's referring to, which is very observant, is the one that went to Bell, the wide receiver.
Yep.
And when you have motions, you can have a change of responsibility. And with the motions, there's got to be communications as soon as that motion starts. And in the case of the long touchdown to Bell, there wasn't even so much as a glance with Darius Williams and Rayshon Jenkins at that time, nor before the play. And you got to be able to communicate so everybody's on the same page so you don't have any holes. And so, yeah, that's something that you don't want to see. Yes, it's been a problem before with this defense, and they've got to get that corrected. And it's just a simple matter of talking when the huddle breaks, when the formation is set, and then as quickly as you can when something changes with emotion. And clearly the Jaguars did not do a good job with it, especially on that specific play on the touchdown to Bell.
It's a lot, Pete.
Yeah, really.
Assignment
look,
football,
like
communication.
Tony says, if you take away the 3 busts, they've probably played well on defense, but everybody can say that in every game in this league nowadays. You always have a couple plays like that. My concern is, where the hell, other than Josh Allen, is the pass rush? Seriously, where is it? It's non-existent. It's not there. It's there, and a couple of those plays, Flacco stood back there, and I think he threw a rifle shot to the right sideline on one play. He stood back there for 20 minutes. It seemed like the pass rush is non-existent. And the whole Trayvon Walker, again, we're going to pile on a little bit. He had one pressure where I think he came off the edge. He beat a guy. Those are backup tackles they're working against. They're not starters.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to argue with that because in the last couple of weeks, you go back to the to the Texans game, and I didn't think Trayvon played very well. The Bengals game came out very early in the ball game, and the right tackle from Alabama, J.P., give me a name. I don't know. Anyway,
73.
73.
Oh,
Comes
Jonah
out
Williams.
early
Jonah
in the
Williams.
game.
Jonah Williams.
Thank you, Pete. And he literally centers Jonah Williams and hits him and knocks him on his can like 2 yards back. And I'm like, all right, okay, establishing power. Now, after you establish power and you put the fear of God in the guy, now you counter off of that.
You don't go back to power?
And it didn't happen.
Well, he goes and that's the thing, Jeff. You're right. He goes to power early in the game, and then they all figure it out. That's all it's going to be is power. Tony, if you knew you had a guy that was on nothing but power, what do you do?
I mean, he just first of all, I'd short set him every time, and that's what Cleveland did, and he was, for the most part, ineffective. The backup tackle, for the most part, every time he short setted him, it was over.
Yeah, 66. I can't remember his name
James
because
Hudson,
the rookie
Hudson.
Thank you. The rookie was out with a knee injury. The fourth round pick tackle out of Ohio State, who, by the way, is a good football player
DeJuan
and a
Jones,
mammoth of a
He's having surgery. He's done for the year though. They announced that today.
What do you have?
A knee.
And that Hudson, by the way, has had moments during his time playing where he's looked awful. I just want to put that out there. And he held his own against Trayvon Walker. And again, it's not working. They can talk till they're blue in the face. He's a good football player. He's a tough kid. He plays the run well. He's a physical guy. He does all that. He's not a pass rusher, and you drafted him to be a pass rusher.
One more question on Fanatics Fan Questions at JBS Inslee. Thoughts on the offensive offside call in the Bills-Chiefs game? I thought the Chiefs showed lack of responsibility and poor sportsmanship after the game.
Pete, I'll let you go first. You're the national guy. I got my opinions on it.
You were there.
And I was at that game Sunday, and look, we saw it right away. He was lined up offsides. There's no doubt about it. They act like he pointed down. He just pointed. He never got a confirmation from the official, but he had done it the entire game. And so for the Chiefs to handle it the way they did it, I thought it was terrible. And for Patrick Mahomes to walk over when Josh Allen's coming over to say something to him after the game and to bring that up, I thought that was out of character and it was out of line. I thought it was ridiculous.
Pete, how much of that is just the frustrations boiling over of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, knowing that they don't have the offense that they've had in the past? That they really got to think about how they play football, because they're really a defensive first team now.
No doubt about it. They're not scoring points. I mean, that Buffalo defense has so many guys missing, and they couldn't score points. It's a problem. And by the way, Anybody who's going to finish in the second spot in the AFC, you do not want to play the Buffalo Bills. I'm telling you, the offense has come alive. They can score. Next week, you'll see it. They play Dallas. And you do not – of all the teams that are possibly going to be in the playoffs, Jake Browning, Gardner Minshew, the Broncos maybe, the Texans, you'd much rather play all of those teams than Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
Well, Pete, the good news is we're fourth now, so we're in a safe spot.
and I will say there might have been a little frustration boiling over. Isn't that the third time that Buffalo's gone to Kansas City and beaten them?
No.
Last year they did. They beat him last year.
They beat him last year, but then they lost to him in that playoff game. Remember, that was a couple years ago.
Right.
I thought it was 3 times that they have beaten them in Kansas City.
All right, those are the Fanatics fan questions.
Did you get to the guy that you blew off for all year?
Yeah, that was the first question.
Okay, good for you.
Yeah, because he came up and was like, why don't you answer my questions?
Well,
like,
Pete,
okay.
we started the show of me reprimanding JP for triple locking and ruining the 2
I mean,
weeks
it's all over. Nobody wants him any part of our locks anymore. You're out, JP. You did it.
I've already said I'm out. I didn't need you to tell me I'm out. I knew that from the jump. I'm back in a moment, and we'll go around the league and pick Monday Night Football. And grab your hats. Get ready for George Strait with Chris Stapleton and Little Big Town, May 11th, 2024. Tickets on sale now, everbankstadium.com. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, live from Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dream Finders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dream Finders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamFindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Huddle up, score the title of most fired up Jags fan and win the ultimate VIP watch party experience. 505 Southwestern has teamed up with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Bono's Pit Barbecue, and Yucatan Guac to give you and 30 friends an unforgettable experience. Hang with Jacksonville and the Roar cheerleaders at the Bono's Town Center location as you cheer on the Jags during their last game of the season against the Titans. Free food, course beer, and prizes included. Enter to win at jaguars.com/sweepstakes.
Hey Florida, this is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
It's the NFL, man. You're gonna start off slow. Like, things are gonna happen. we were in many positions to tie the game and then take over the game. We didn't do it. So, you gotta kind of roll with the punches sometimes, but finish in the end. We had multiple opportunities and just didn't get it done.
Evan Ingram, Jaguars tight end, 12 targets, 11 catches, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the loss yesterday in Cleveland. And welcome back. It's Jaguars Happy Hour from Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra. J.P. Shadrick, Tony Boselli, Jeff Lageman on location. Pete Prisco, of course, with us. And for 10 years, Dreamfinders Homes has been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jags. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all the available inventory. And go Jags.
How about Evan Ingram? He's on pace for over 100 catches this year.
He's unbelievable.
Oh, way more than 100
That's
catches.
what I'm saying. It's
he's got 84 right now.
Unreal. Now, not huge yards per catch. Probably won't get to 1,000 yards, but
he is 11th in the league now in receptions, and out of the top 20 receivers in receptions in the National Football League, he has the highest catch percentage, which is impressive.
And remember coming in from the Giants, the book on him is that he had the drops.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I know we got to get the rest of the league, but real quick thing on Evan. If you have it, and maybe some of our fans already know this, but I don't think there's a harder worker in the organization right now than Evan Ingram.
No.
I don't know how much film he watches. I think a lot. And a lot of guys their work ethic's great on this team. But this is a guy after practice, before the game, is working on his craft constantly, and it's paying off. He's having a great year.
One of the great acquisitions in Jaguars history and free agency.
And I remember, I don't want to bring up the past, but you and I arguing because I was a big fan of that signing. You're like, I don't know. He struggled in New York.
The one thing that I wish with Evan, I wish more defenses treated him like a true tight end.
Well, the problem
because they don't,
and they can't. And part of it is because Evan's not an inline tight end that's going to dominate a defensive end. He's not George Kittle. George Kittle is like an offensive tackle blocking.
And if you have that, you get a little bit more favorable matchup in the passing game.
He gets a lot of corner looks.
He gets DBs all the time.
Yeah, so it's not as big as a matchup difference.
Let's take a quick look around the NFL. Let's start off, though, with the AFC playoff chase going into tonight. The Ravens, the number 1 seed currently. The Dolphins play tonight on Monday Night Football. They're the number 2. If they win tonight, they'd be back at number 1. Chiefs, Jaguars 3-4. Then the Browns at 5 in the wild card race. Then there are, 6 teams, Pete, that are 7-6 in the AFC. This thing is going to go down to the wire.
Yeah, and if you look at the schedules, some teams are going to end up playing a lot of those teams play each other. You look at the Bengals play a bunch of those teams, and the Texans play the Colts at the end of the year. So I think it's going to play out. But if Buffalo beats Dallas this week, they have 2 winnable games, and then their final game of the season will be at Miami. And the question becomes, will Miami need it? They probably will, but you never know. So I think Buffalo wins this week against Dallas. They're going to get in. They're going to be the 7th seed. And again, you don't want to play them. The Texans situation's interesting. They had lost that game and they were terrible. C.J. Stroud was awful against the Jets on Sunday before he got hurt, and now it's even more of a problem.
Behind the scenes here, sign language.
I thought someone's going to have a seizure here.
I don't know. All I know, it's Monday Night Football. It's 2 for the price of 1. We start in South Florida, where Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and the 9-3 Miami Dolphins look to stay at the top of the AFC. They entertain the 4-8 Tennessee Titans, plus the 6-6 Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love playing well. Visit the 4-8 New York Football Giants. Who you got in both, Tony?
Wow, you nailed it. After 3 weeks ago, completely flubbing everything, you're on a streak, and you had back-to-back. I give you credit, JP.
I'm not locking either one.
No, you're not allowed to lock anything. No. I think the Dolphins boat race the Titans, and I think Green Bay is – that's the youngest team in the NFL. Give Matt LaFleur a ton of credit in that young roster. They're doing a good job. And Jordan Love's starting – watching him last week on Monday Night Football, it's like, my goodness, this guy's not bad.
Boggs?
Is it my turn now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm taking Miami.
Okay.
That's an easy one.
The Titans just can't they can't keep pace with that speed. And who's Green Bay playing?
Giants.
Because I got so distracted by your energy.
You like it? Come on.
You really think I'm going to pick the Giants?
We can do that on Thursdays if you want.
Really going to pick the Giants? Is the kid that's still staying at home with his mom
He's
making his
quarterback.
bed every night? Is he playing tonight?
Tommy DeVito.
can't do that. Come on.
Look, I'm not picking a quarterback, Pete, okay, that still ends up having his mom make his bed on a daily basis.
Who you got, Pete?
Sorry.
Hey, Tebow's dad was on the practice field every day in Florida. He won the Heisman Trophy, so he's got that going for him.
Didn't work for him in the NFL, though, Pete. We're talking about the NFL.
I got the Dolphins, and I think the Giants will hang around, but I think Green Bay wins the game again. I think it's going to be a little closer than expected. Green Bay, keep an eye on them. They are going to make the postseason.
Ooh, that's a call. Is that a lock?
We're not locking this
Why
week.
not?
We're taking a break off.
No locks
No
this
locks
week?
this week.
No locks this week.
Well,
I am the
Tony's
king
not
of the
gonna lock
locks,
the
and I am
Ravens
saying
game. I can
no
tell you
locks.
that right now.
I am not, Pete.
This is how we do Mondays, Logs. Thanks for coming out, man.
Hey, thanks for having
thanks
me.
for joining us.
Thanks for the free food.
That's Jeff Lageman.
Oh, it's
Thank
on
you,
me.
Chubby.
I got you.
Yeah, you got
I
me?
got you.
Okay.
Pete Prisco, Tony Boselli covered it all. Our entire crew here and back at the stadium. Thanks for coming out to Mr. Chubby's Wings. This is Jaguars Happy Hour.